I met a gypsy.
This is bad. I didn't know it was to that extent. And yeah, so it was a hard time for sure. But when I got back, it made everything that much better. For a second. and then I went and raced Southwick. first race back was Southwick. I was like, why couldn't I have waited a weekend?
That's pretty funny. So when you're in that, like you said, you're in kind of like that depressed sort of state. I mean, dude, like I can relate to that as a dude that doesn't get paid to ride. Like I broke my hip last year. Man, I went fucking crazy. Like I couldn't do jiu-jitsu. I couldn't train. Like, man, that was definitely like a tough time. But I can imagine adding on top of all that is the stress of your rookie 450 season. Like I can imagine you're probably sitting there being like, oh, well, there goes my career. Like one and done in the 450 class, you know?
Yeah. And that's kind of what I was thinking at the time. I was like, dude, am I ever gonna come back from this? I knew eventually, in my mind, I was like, I'm confident I'm coming back, but in like the slightest back of my mind, I was like, this was a really serious injury, and I haven't really had a lot of these. Like what am I gonna do? And I was just kind of in my head about everything, like in my head about coming back and racing, in my head about like, because a lot of people cut my pay. I was getting a lot of my bills were outweighing my salary at the time, and I was freaking out.
Really?
I was like, there was like injury clauses in the contracts, and it was like after 5 races, I was done. like I was getting,
dude,
not a lot from anybody. So it was tough. I was going like crazy in my mind. I was just like having everything running through, like, how am I going to pay for this? I just bought this house. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that?
I just got a kid.
Yeah, I just had a kid last year. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I got a family to provide for. Like, I'm this close to going and finding a job around here. Like, I don't know when I'm gonna be back, and if I do come back, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to stay. Like, I don't know how my heel's gonna do. But yeah, at that time I was in a dark place, and I never wanted to go back there. So I just kind of, after my heel healed, dude, I did everything I could. I trained as hard as I could. I flew out here. It was so many times just to test the bike, just to try and get a headway on anything, because Dean Ferris was over here riding for me.
Yeah.
And then Barsh was out here, and I would ask them how the bike is and how it's going out there, and they would just look at me like, dude, it's not really going great. Like, what we're doing out there is the best we can do right now. And that had me freaking out when I came back, and it was just like weird. But I did everything possible in my power to come back and be the strongest that I had been all year. And starting at Southwick, if you're injured, don't ever come back at Southwick. Like, wait till the next round. I assure you it can wait. Like, but it did get better. Like, I did good or better at Redbud, and then I think the last race I actually raced, because I got sick at Ironman, it was Bud's Creek. I went like 9.9 for 8th overall, and I mean, it was my first top 10 finish in the outdoors, so I was like having a little celebration moment. Yeah, and then coming back from that, I was like, dude, come, let's go. But yeah, man, it was so tough. It was just
that's dude,
toughest year.
The whole injury clause thing, man, like that makes me sad for our sport, to be really honest. Like I mean, there's probably things that you would want to say that you couldn't say about that. So I'm gonna say it for you. That shit's fucked up. Injury clauses, like you're asking a dude to go out there and risk his fucking life, not just on the weekends. You're asking a dude to go out there and risk his life daily. Every time you step on a fucking motorcycle and ride, not just at the speed that you're riding, but at the speed that any of us go on any dirt bike, you can die. I've watched people die. It ain't no joke. And then you want to go and put a fucking injury clause in a contract with a rider that's literally giving you everything. And then you got a guy like you that's on the couch with a busted foot that's like worrying about fucking mortgages and getting a job, and his kid, like, I ain't fucking cool with it. So, I mean, I know you can't say a lot, and I don't expect you to say a lot right now. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with it at all. I just don't agree with it at all. Just to be doing something for somebody, and if you get hurt doing it, you don't get what you could have got if you didn't get hurt. It's lame, but they'll do what they do.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.